Hey guys, how have you all been? Hope you guys are doing extremely well. Welcome back to Coding Adda and welcome back to yet another video on the AI series. In this video, we are going to talk about what is tokenization and we'll be explaining this using the example of Lego blocks. Yes. So without any further delay, let's get into the computer screen and let's start with the video. So in the last video, we understood what happens behind the scenes in whenever we give a single prompt to ChatGPT, right? So we understood this. Now we'll go on to each of the step one by one. The first step that we are going to go here is to understand the concept of tokenization. So we'll be understanding using Lego blocks. So before going further, let us understand what AI has to say or what Lego has to say to us. Lego has a message for us. Lego says AI doesn't read text like humans. It breaks it into tokens. Okay, that is something new. Okay, we understood the Lego bhai. So let's understand what we have to say here. Every word, part of a word, or even a symbol can be a token. Let's say you have a symbol which is an apostrophe, you have a symbol which is an exclamation mark, question mark, comma, full stop. Anything can be a token. Okay. So let us understand one by one. So the first step here is to understand what is a token. So here we can say a token is a smallest piece of text that AI can understand. Think of token as Lego bricks. Here we have a list of Lego bricks. Here we have an example saying ChatGPT is amazing. What we as a human see is ChatGPT is amazing. But this is not the case when it comes to AI, or this is not the case when it comes to LLMs. What the AI sees here is something like this. ChatGPT is amazing question exclamation. So the same word here can be split into different number of tokens, and sometimes one word has multiple tokens. It all depends on the kind of tokenization model or the kind of tokenizer that we are using. So here, what is a token? It is the smallest piece of text that AI models can understand. Everything is a token in the world of AI. Okay, so we understood what is a token. Okay, next, what is the thing? Next, we are going to understand what is a subword. AI uses subwords tokenization like BPE. BPE means byte pair encoding. It is an encoding technique where it is used for tokenization. It breaks rare words into meaningful parts. For example, here the word we have is unbelievable. It is tokenized as unbelievable. And here we have the Lego analogy as we have three different Legos for three different words. Next is running. Running is broken down into run and ning. We have two Legos here. Okay. Then we have internationalization. It is tokenized as internationalization. And this is how the token analogy looks like. And we have AI, it is like A and I. And we have the two Lego tokens. So subword tokenization here helps AI understand new and rare words by combining the known pieces. Why do we need subword tokenization, or why do we even need the subword here? Because it helps us handle unknown words, reduces vocabulary size, more efficient processing, and better for many languages. Because every language has a different way of writing, every language has a different way of understanding things. So here it is good for many different languages. Okay. So once we have the subwords, what do we do next? Next is to have tokenization limits, or we can say token limits. What are token limits? For example, consider that you have all the Lego blocks inside a given box or a container. And after a certain point of time, what will happen is if you keep on adding all the Lego blocks one after the other, the container will become full and it will no longer have to accumulate more Lego blocks. That is the same thing in terms of AI. What we can say here is every AI model has a maximum token limit, or in a technical terms, we can say context window. It's like a Lego block. Once full, no more pieces can fit. What happens is obviously we have many good context window, let's say we can see chat GPT context window. You can search what is the chat GPT context window. The standard chat is 128,000 tokens or 1,28,000 tokens. Thinking mode can take up to 256,000 tokens, and files can be different. So the token window or the context window differs for different AI models. Let's say we compare it with Gemini. It gives you 1 million to 2 million context window for Gemini 1.5 Pro and Flash models. So that means the box that we have for different LLM models is bigger. For ChatGPT, for some kind of model, it is smaller. So we can say we are using smaller box. For bigger models like 1.5 Pro, Gemini 1.5 Pro and Flash, it is using 1 to 2 million token limit. That means the box that in which we are storing the Lego is very huge. Sometimes what happens is if you are a developer, you might have gone like, okay, after a certain point of time, the chat GPT tries to give the repeated answers. That's because your token limit have been exceeded or the context window is finished. So if your prompt or AI response exceeds the limit, old tokens may be dropped, AI may forget information or truncated responses. So that's where we always have to be mindful of the token limits for better responses. So this is the third thing, which is called the token limits. Next, after we have the tokens, next is the step to encode it, meaning converting it into text to numerical representation. So after tokenization, each token is converted into a unique number, or we can say ID, that the model can process. Taking an example of ChatGPT is amazing. We had the token, and each token, as you can see, it is converted into a token ID. Chat is 1234, G is 567. It's not the same thing that happens here. Based on the encoding model, it differs. So these tokens or token IDs are then converted into embeddings, or we can say as vectors that the AI understands. So this is how the encoding flow looks like. We have the text. Text is then converted into token, which are like Lego pieces, huge Lego pieces. These Lego pieces are converted into token IDs, which are numbers. And then we store these numbers into embeddings, which are vector representation of the token IDs. Okay, so these are the major four steps we as a developer need to understand on what are tokens, what is subword, what is BPE technique, what are token limits, what is an encoding technique, and post that there are three main things that you need to remember. The first thing is, why do tokens matter? Obviously, these matter because this help AI understand text efficiently. It also affects the speed and the performance of how the LLM or the AI model works. It affects the API cost or you pay as your token is getting used. And obviously, it is very crucial for prompt engineering because that's where you give a good, huge, or a good curated, a fine-tuned prompt based on your use case. After that, let's have a quick recap on understanding this. AI breaks the words into tokens like Lego pieces. It uses subwords to handle new words smartly. There's a token limit context window which takes care of the number of Lego blocks that can be fitted into a given box. Different LLM models have different token limits. And then tokens are encoded into numbers for AI to understand. And next, we always have to remember better understanding of tokens equals better prompts, better output, and lower cost. Okay, so this is how tokenization is done using the example of Lego blocks. So this was the part 2 of how tokenization works using the Lego blocks. Please let me know your thoughts on how did you like the video. And if you like the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.